If humans don't know more about what it means to be human in this reality, humanity is going to continue to be cycled through patterns of the same things, repeating the same cycles, ad nauseum and ad infinitum. Most humans don't understand what they don't know about themselves, in contrast to the reality that we live in, and how what they don't know about themselves are the very things that the very system that's been built all around them goes after. All of the inherent weaknesses in man, weaknesses in character, weaknesses in vice, weaknesses in morality, all this stuff. And it calls man to transcend the animal state and that below the belt, lower three chakras condition, where man and woman are generally driven by urges and things of that nature, appetites, as opposed to endeavoring to control the animal aspect of the meat sack. Because when you don't control the animal aspect of the meat sack, they have built a system to entice you, to tantalize and titillate all of your senses. You can satisfy any vice you want, from gambling. From where you go gambling, there's probably lots of prostitution, there's lots of drug, all the vices in all the cities around the world that provide it, all the states that provide it. If you recognize that you live in a modern day Babylon, if you see any of these components, this is the stuff that's calling you to awareness. It's calling you to awareness of what you are, how you're built. Because in simply learning about yourself and understanding how the system is built to go after you, how all of the things in this world are built to go after you. And when you realize that it's built to go after the components of you that you're not consciously aware of on the daily, and when you realize how much access they've had to these components of you for the vast majority of your life, up until the point in which you recognize it, and then begin a process of actually going through what you believe, contrasting that to what you see happening in the world, recognizing where you've been deceived, where you've believed things that weren't true about government, about religion, about pick your thing in this world, in this reality, in our respective societies and cultures. So if we as humans don't do something different than we have always done, they are going to continue to be able to do to us what they have always done. Are you starting to see the landscape of the world? Are you starting to see the patterns of control? Are you starting to see the corporate control, the oligarchical? What's the word for that? Anyway, insert that word there. Control, that type of shit, the corruption everywhere, at every layer. So what do you do? Well, until there's a global revolution, the best thing you can do is probably try to transcend all of this shit in as best as you can by making improvements in yourself wherever you see you need to, in comparison to this vast beast system. And again, urges, vices, the broken parts of us where we're traumatized, sometimes traumatized as children, teenagers, adults, anywhere where you're vulnerable, anywhere where you're weak, anywhere where you're weak and vulnerable, there's a vice that you can probably fill in the hole there. You know what I'm saying? That's the way this world is built. If you don't want to be consumed by it, you first have to recognize it and take the steps to transcend it. Transcending this shit means knowing thyself. It means the work required towards those ends. The great work, the inner work, the shadow work, the development of self, self-control, self-discipline over the animal man. There's so much involved that for many it may seem intimidating. But when you really look at the world and you look at what's required of us so that we're not consumed by the immoral beast system, so to speak, this is work we should have been doing a long time ago. These are understandings we should have had a long time ago. These are things that we should have understood about ourselves and the world and how it works, how we operate in this world, that we then began teaching our children so they have an understanding of this as they grow and develop, because it's a lot to process. But hey, If you can take music theory and chunk it down, and either a music teacher or a parent that's particularly versed in such things knows how to take that music theory, break it down into bite-sized chunks, start teaching it to a child, that by the time they're 8, 10, whatever, something, they're like really, really rip-roaring on something super complex because their little minds can absorb it. What I'm putting forth is in the realm of Human 101, Human 102, Human 103, in that type of context like school, like college classes through high school, freshman year through senior, or college classes, senior or freshman through senior, where you get classes in stepwise progressions. There are components to understanding what we are that are at that level. High school, maybe college, but it's not like super advanced classes. And then once you get to that point, then you understand the work that there is to do to be a human. It's just what it is. Well, when you look at the world and you look at the Babylon that this fucking place is, when you look at the Luciferian control and all that other shit, if there's some sort of judgment in any way to get out of this place, don't you think that part of that might be that transcendent journey from the animal man, the animal woman, that can be led like a animal, influenced to do things, driven by their hormones, their crotches, below the belt. There's just so many things that make humans so easy to manipulate because they go after humans where they're weak and where there's the more animal side. Think about that, humans. So again, if humans continue to live and do and exist in the ways that we always have, they are going to continue to be able to do to us what they always have. And I'm sorry, people, but look at the position that a large portion of the Western world is in right now. I mean, look at the times we're in. At some level, don't awakened humans or unawakened humans realize that reality, life, the condition of the world, the state of things is calling humans to consciousness. It's calling them to more. It's calling them to awaken and pay more attention. It's calling humans to so many things that as those that look from above see, what must they think? Now, the flip side of that is, I'll be damned if I don't know what got most of them in that condition through the onslaught of social engineering and indoctrination and programming and mind control and school indoctrination, religious indoctrination, plus all the chemical poisons in the water, food, and air, plus all the other things that they put into the bodies of people when they're children, plus all the things they give them to take that effectively lobotomize them or, no. Plus, whoa. That's kind of a lot now, isn't it?
This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is. This world is not what you think it is.